Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door.
"'Tis a visitor,"
I muttered.
tapping on my chamber door. Only this and nothing more.
Ah, I distinctly remember it was the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, and certain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors, never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating,
"'Tis some visitors entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some lay visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is it and nothing more."
Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer.
"Sir,
Said I,
or madame, surely your forgiveness I implore. But the fact that I was snapping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door. And I scared was so sure I heard you."
here opened the door, darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering long, I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word that there was spoken was the whispered word.
"Lenore?
This I whispered, and the echo murmured back the word.
Lenore!"
Merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before.
"Surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. This wind and nothing more."
Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obscene made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mane or lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched above a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. Perched and sat and nothing more. Then this ebony bird bejeweling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern dark room of the consonants it wore.
"Though my crest be short, and shaven though,
I said,
no craven, a ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore, tell me what thy lordly names, Oldamites, Plutonian shore."
quoth the raven, "Nevermore!" Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we could not help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon a sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore! But the raven sitting lonely on the placid bug spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour, nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered,
"Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before."
Then the bird said, Nevermore! Startled in the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken,
"Doubtless.
said I,
What it utters is its only stock and store caught from one unhappy master whom unmercifully disaster followed fast and followed faster till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, and nevermore, and nevermore."
But the raven still bejeweling from the fancy into smiling, straight I willed and cushioned seat in front of the bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bore of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, Nevermore! This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burden into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed with unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the turfed floor.
Wretch,
I cried,
the God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite the nymph from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind of nepenthe, and forgot this lost Lenore.
quoth the raven.
Nevermore! Prophet!
Said I,
Thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, by that heaven that bent above us, by the God we both adore. Till this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a saint maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore.
quoth the raven,
Nevermore! By that word or sign of pardon, bird or fiend,
I shrieked, upstarting.
get thee back into the Thames of the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as the token of that lie the soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door.
Quoth the raven,
I said nevermore.
and the raven never flitting, still is sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming. And the raven never flitting, still is sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have the same seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him still steaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out the shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
Are we?